3,000. That's right, we've flipped more than 3,000 profitable houses and can teach you how to do the same thing. Click the Academy link for your free roadmap to financial freedom.
Hey everyone, it's Michael from Houston, Texas, and I wanted to give a quick shout out and a testimony for Peter. And if you're like me at all, you might have thought that getting into flipping houses was too much time, too much effort, didn't know enough about what to do or how to do it, to make it a reality. And for me, I've always been interested in real estate and flipping in particular. And I have some really good buddies that make some serious cash doing just flips. And like I said, I just thought it was too much for me to handle. And, if I was going to do it, I was going to do it right. I was going to learn from the professionals that could teach me A to Z how to do it, how to make money, how to be the most effective and efficient at doing this. And I ran into Peter's videos on YouTube, and it was instant. I was like, yep, this guy's pro. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's got amazing success, but he's also got the experience and the know-how to teach me, somebody that hasn't done this before. So huge shout out. I've learned more than I thought I would. I'm a quick learner, guys. And I learned a lot more than I thought I would in a much shorter amount of time so that I can do this full time without thinking about it. His program's awesome. Check him out on peteracademy.com if you haven't already, and good luck.
Hey, Peter of Excellence. So today I want to talk to you about kind of a cliche, but the thing about cliches is it feels like you always have to hear them over and over and over again for them to really make sense and sink in. And the other thing I want to talk to you about is just this whole concept about when do you actually kill a deal? Our philosophy here is that we never kill deals. Literally, we never kill deals unless the deal is sold or something happens that we know will be totally out of our control. Sometimes we find out that whoever's trying to sell us the property is not the actual owner. But anything short of that, all of our deals stay alive. So I thought the best way to explain this, kind of keep the hope alive and never give up, and when do you kill a deal? Let me talk to you about an actual deal that we just closed here a couple days ago. And here's kind of the HUD on it. And it was on McAfee Road. And it was a deal that we flipped and did a wholesale deal on and made a quick $6,500 for. So what I did on my computer screen, I took some major notes, so some major bullet points that happened along the way. But I can tell you for every one of these major bullet points, there's a ton of subpoints. Now, interestingly enough, as I'm doing this, today is December 28th. The deal actually started in May. So think about it, this is months. How many deals do you have in your pipeline right now that are literally, 7, 8, 9 months old? So the one thing is I'll encourage you, do not let the length of a closing determine that the deal dies. So many times investors go like, well, I couldn't get it done in the first 3 weeks, so the deal's dead. I couldn't get it done in the first month and a half, so the deal's dead. So many times how long it takes you to close has very little to do with whether it'll close. It started in May 2005. The seller, within the next 4 weeks, went literally MIA for us. And when they go MIA for us, when our sellers disappear, we put some pressure on them. We get our attorneys involved, we lien the properties, we get demand letters out and all that. Well, so we went through that process. Nothing, no response, couldn't get a hold of them. So, when we try to kind of push the seller there, it had no effect. Interestingly enough, then in October, okay, so May, June, July, September, October. So 5 months later, and remember, we kept the deal alive. We still made some kind of process every once in a while, try to reconnect. Finally, 5 months later in October, we're able to reconnect with the seller, and the seller basically agreed to sell us the property, okay? So now this is a deal that we were gonna wholesale. So this is not a deal necessarily I wanted to take title to and own for an extended period of time. So guess what else had to happen in October? When we were in May, wanting to do the deal, we had a buyer for it. Guess what? In October, we had to start looking for a new buyer again. So now, we're 5-6 months into the deal. We're starting the marketing process all over again. We're finding the buyer. Well, guess what? A month later, the seller goes MIA, but this time, we're able to track him down to no less than the federal prison. So the guy gets put in prison. Well, when that happened, we then had to figure out who his attorneys were, and we had to start working with attorneys. So for the next couple months, we worked for his attorneys. Now, interestingly enough, it says in that process, he actually switched attorneys. So one of his attorneys went MIA on us, became missing. We reconnected with a new attorney, and finally, December 22nd, we closed this deal. That's a 7-8 month old deal that had the possibility of dying several times in that process. So keep the hope alive. What's the concept there? In this business, nothing is ever dead. We literally, in all our debt files, once a month, reconnect with all of them. So the sellers that told us no on deals we were working towards, the deals that fell apart, before closings that we couldn't close. So once a month, we're constantly reconnecting. We're keeping our hope alive for every single one of these deals, because these deals happen to us literally. And again, our pipeline's very big now, but they constantly happen to us on a weekly basis. So that's the great thing about this business. Short of some unbelievable circumstances, like the property gets sold from underneath you, which does happen, or like I said, maybe the seller's not the true seller. Anything other than that, this is why it's so important to keep your pipeline going, because anything other than those extenuating circumstances, it gives you hope. It gives you hope that the 50 deals that you have in that pipeline, the debt pipeline, as long as you're constantly reconnecting, at any point in time, they can reconnect. Second thing is, never ever kill a deal. This is a perfect example. You never ever kill a deal. MIA going missing on us, his attorneys missing on us, not responding to demand letters, not responding to lawsuits, not responding to liens on the property, ends up in federal prison, and guess what? We're still able to close that deal. What a great business we're in, that you always have the ability to keep the hope alive if your pipeline is big enough, and never ever kill any deal unless something extenuating happens.